Hi everyone, Leah the trader from TMAD here. How are you doing? Happy Sunday. It's last day of May 2026. Tomorrow is June. We're gonna start new month. Please beware of certain things. June historically in election as an election midterm election month tends to be a little bit choppy and also negative. So we might see some pullback throughout the month. But as I explained today in the newsletter, please read it. It's very important because we look at other metrics that we can explain. We do believe that it will be buy the dip opportunity throughout the summer. I'm more cautious towards mid to end of August. Going into September, we could have a correction. All right, so just be aware of that. I posted everything in the newsletter and now I'm going to do a quick video because people liked it last time and I know that a lot of people like to see this instead of reading a long newsletter, right? So we do believe that summer could be ugly. Please be careful going into mid-July, end of July and into August, but we will of course follow up on this. So let's look at open trades. We still have Flex that just broke out. There is Cold Surge. We have Groupon. Groupon is still looking good. It's a little bit choppy, but the name doesn't look bad. It's clearly turning course. The resistance was very strong at the 2045, and we would like to see it retest. It's possible that we're gonna retest lower. I would have to stop at. Let's look, Groupon is right here, 1738, exactly as on the chart. Let's see, hopefully it's gonna hold. I think this name can go up to 2730, quite frankly, so I wouldn't wanna be too worried about it. Flex, as I said, is broken out. This is the weekly chart. Let's look at the daily. 150 was the breakout level. Today someone asked me, hey Leah, why the daily is around 74 and the weekly is around $50, $65? Well, because it's a highest volume at price that's measured over 100 candles. On the daily it's 100 days, on a weekly it's 100 weeks. As you can see, this name had absolutely minimal movement for a very long time, since like 2017, right? So the highest volume in the 100 days is around 70 and around somewhere here, 68, 70. Look at this, the TMAD app. And now you see here, you have it all around. So 78, right? And there will be nothing above it because, as I said, these numbers, sometimes it's all-time highs and sometimes there's literally nothing in past months and years. So there is no proper data. Then you have to use resistance support based on technical analysis or JACs, as you can see here. So at this point, a strong support would be 135. Because it's a put wall, right? 135. This whole entire thing around those numbers, it seems like a very strong level of support. And then, of course, higher you go 175. That's why we have it here, 170, to be more conservative and not have our expectations in place, right? Be also very careful when you see that on our app there are no real supports. That usually indicates a parabolic move. And as you can see, that oftentimes can end up poorly, right? Because when you have parabolic move, there is truly not much. There are not many orders sitting. So if we break the 134, we probably go below to 118, and if we get to the gap, we do indeed could end up in the 70s or 80s, right? Because again, this is a giant gap. Retested, thankfully, but again, be careful with those crazy moves. When you look at these charts, it happened too fast. So, but again, we have a stop, we don't care, because it might go to 170, 175. So you can always be scared and speculate as much as you want. It's not healthy. All right, Cisco is, of course, Cold Surge, still looking good. As I said on Friday, it has to break the 120. It's a very strong resistance for Cisco, and 120, 121 was the level. So let's look at the chart as well. Here, we're still chopping around there. Hopefully we break out and go. Rocket Lab, again, retested. So I'm not going to repeat all this because it's in Friday's video. Let's look at this week. So first of all, we look at SPY. All right, so SPY is under a cluster of resistances. We have to break out this level, but again, indecision candle, 75, 68, 70 around there is a support. And then if not, we might have a lower level to go to. So be careful, because if we have some sort of a pullback in June around FOMC, and maybe the SpaceX IPO will suck some liquidity out of this highly volatile names, people gonna be taking some profits most likely. We have some gaps to fill right here around 7,300 is one. Then we have gap right here at 7,000. 6,900. And also remember here, this level around 7,010, 7,000 should be kind of like a place where the market should max retest in the summer. You might say, oh, it's a lot, but no, it's not that much, because it's only about 7, 8, 9%. That happens often in the market, right? Here also we had the retest in March into April. So it's possible. And you know that August, September usually are very ugly months. September is the worst month of the year, usually after the summer. And sometimes the sell-off starts already in August. So just be cautious. Keep it in mind. We have time. Again, we could retest a little bit here. You see this kind of a situation in the next couple of weeks. When that happens, sadly, your names will be probably stopped out, and we're gonna probably have bad result on the scanner, on the score strategy, which is, we can't avoid it, because again, when it's 1, 2, 3 weeks, we're gonna have red. It happens. And if we would be longer and we see there is a bigger correction, as I said, if we would dump below the 7,000, then I would be like, oh, that's not good. Let's get out of everything. But again, we're gonna roll out most likely some other short trades and hedges and stuff like that. So just stay tuned with us. We will always try to do our best with all the information we have, from scanner to charts to all the flows and everything we observe, right? So let's look at the trade ideas into next week. So the score showing us all these 10 names. I'm personally most likely gonna adjust the scanner, because we do not like the 2x, 3x ones in the scores. They're extremely volatile, and we don't like that they, in the worst case scenario, they can really pull the whole portfolio down. So most likely we're gonna remove those from the scoring system. But BlackBerry looks good. So it looks very overextended, and it is, this was like a great breakout to trade. But also we have to remember, so 920 is the resistance. We might retest towards the support, or retest a little bit, then break out again. I give you 2 setups that you can play. You can wait for the retest and go, when it goes long, then you take it. You do not just buy because it's falling. You wait when it's falling, and when you see next day buying pressure, then you go long. But if you look at the chart, just see where we are now. So we had like a huge breakout. And BlackBerry is an interesting one, because like 2021 in the COVID frenzy, it went up to, oh my gosh, $28. So we just broke out these levels here, and now we're gonna break out the 965. So I think 1314 is plausible on this name. I'm looking at the QBTC and RTGI. They both looking pretty good. QBTS I actually wrote in the newsletter, and RTGI also looks pretty good. This one has no call surge, but otherwise they both have positive momentum and strong relative volume. So this would be my setup around 35, 31, 30.50 or 31 entry. Looks like it's recovering. That could be a high flyer. And NBIS, I like NBIS because it retested, it was chopping around, and now the breakout would be fine. Again, guys, please, this is very risky if you do not have stops. If you play our score, you have 10 names for 2 weeks. The worst case scenario, the 2 weeks are really bad and you can lose up to 10% on your portfolio, which sucks, but it's not like life ruining. But if you just YOLO into these names, you don't have a stop, they are high up, they ran a lot, and they will be retesting. So please always make sure you have the stops. UMC is also retesting. It's creating a nice triangle here. Let's see if it chops a little more or maybe even goes lower. Then we would adjust the setup. Remember, sometimes you have stop limit order. It's not going to fill because you buy about 23.66, right? If the stock keeps falling, then I will try to adjust the setup like I had to do on FTNT. Because FTNT was a breakout trade and then it did not break out higher, it went lower. So this was the entry point and it was basically a retest of the 10 DMA before it was a breakout. So you have to always adjust if it doesn't fill, and sometimes you can just cancel them. You don't have to be in everything. But remember, so where was I? UMC was it? Yeah. So this one A is going to chop and break out and we go long. And if it's not going to go lower, we retest, change the setup or delete the setup completely. DEI, I'm liking this one. It has a call surge as well. It looks pretty cool. It's been chopping for a while. So we are hoping that this can break out the resistance and put a call wall. We can look actually at the app exactly. This one is not on the top 10 picks, but sometimes you might find other names. Nobody's saying you don't have to. Sorry. So you can play any other names, right? So let's look at DEI. All right. So resistance 1185, and we have the 15 would be my target. And again, it has call surge, it has positive momentum, positive jacks, 1.8 hour. And I like the technical setup personally, right? So, but again, I'm waiting to break out the resistance. BWA, these are powerful U-shaped breakouts. It could be also cup and handle. I like the breakout here. So A, again, we're going to wait until we break out. That would be the breakout entry, or retest. If we keep going lower and we retest, and then find the buyers and go back up, okay? MA was last week I gave you. Again, it keeps chopping the compression and it's higher highs. So 12 breakout would be quite interesting. When I was looking at it last, it's also still on the score. It had pretty good flow into the 15, 17. But again, you see here is the resistance on weekly, right? So you want to kind of even go maybe higher than 12. So that's what I'm looking at for now. And again, here is the newsletter I wrote today. We'll do some update tomorrow if needed. If not, we will do update on Tuesday. You see the public portfolio is the model portfolio of $10,000. It's up this week a little bit. And the agent executed it for me at the open on last Tuesday. I sent you the prompt on Sunday. I think there was some bug with the link. So I'm going to be setting up one for tomorrow, for Tuesday. I will look how the market looks. You can, of course, play if you wish the Monday stocks. If not, always good to wait and see how the market is on Monday and then decide for Friday. For Tuesday. And then, so here is our trade log. As you see, we have all these names opened. Microsoft doing really well. It's a long term, and NB is not so good. When did we enter that one? NB. It's been a while. It's been a long-term trade here on the 417. I might exit this one because it's not doing what I wanted it to do. It's just sitting there and I'm getting really annoyed. I mean, it's still about the stop out level, but it's just wasted capital. I'm sure when I sell it, it's going to start moving up. So, and Microsoft, let's just look at that. I really like Microsoft. It hit and broke on very strong. Look at the volume, very strong volume, about 450. Looks amazing. And look at all the software names too. Adobe, guys, Adobe looks great. If we get about the 260, I think Adobe has a chance. Figma also, the breakout of the 2586 here is again like the U shape. It looks pretty good. Now it's beautiful. You guys asked about now in our Wednesday chat multiple times. So that looks pretty good. I think the 126 breakout goes even higher. We can look at our app. And then we have Snow. I mean, Snow was insane. And TTD. TTD is a little bit laggy, but that's kind of like the software names I'm looking at. But let's look at Now, actually. I love Now the most. Microsoft Now. Okay, so we have We are right at the support at 122, and we have, let's see now, 122, and okay, we have resistance at 129. So we are about a little bit above the support, which was resistance before, and 129 is the next level. 130, 140. Okay, so 150 would be even a place to look at, and I think it's plausible here. So that's a huge flow into 150, and we can check Microsoft also. The relative volume is crazy, total jacks positive, momentum positive, score is low because it's in downtrend. But again, you can have a low score because score mostly tracks the momentum and trend and the jacks. So sometimes, as I said last video, sometimes when all these things align, ideally we would have cold surge on this one too, which we don't have yet. But it's good to look at the reversals too if you want. They have a little bit lower probability of success. Sometimes you might enter reversal and it's just not going to do anything for a while. But, you know, that's a strategy too as well. But again, the scanner is mainly momentum scanner. It's not the reversal scanner. So just understand the difference. So what else do we look at? Oracle looks really good too. I think, isn't Boris short Oracle? I think this one, 228 is weekly resistance, and about 228, I think that thing can go really high. 230, 250. It looks good though. There is not much negative jacks higher, so it looks pretty good. Also positive, strong momentum. So let's see. I wish again there would be more call flow into those names, but they don't look bad. What was it? Oracle. Let's see here. And we actually broke out this trend line, and since then it's just doing really well. Let's just all buy it, and Buri is gonna die. No, I don't care about him. I'm kidding. So yeah, so look, the trend is actually aligning, and this is the last piece of the puzzle. We are about 200 daily, which is really strong. We need to align all the moving averages, and then they are in stage 2 breakout, right? So this doesn't look bad, actually. I also wanted to look at Joby. We still have Joby. It was an inside day, nothing major. Ideally, we break out at 12:30 and we get a bow. So a lot of those 200, you know, people see the market is rallying, but there are a lot of names that are really beat up these days. So as I said, there are all the software names. There's so many names that are picking up. Even the quantum names had a really hard time. Let's look at the crypto stuff. Iran, again, it's a nice uptrend now. Everything is aligned, just retesting. I think this one is gonna go. And Cipher, guys, Cipher looks pretty good also retesting, and here the breakout. But at this point, since we retested, it's no longer a retest of the previous high. It's gonna be most likely a flag breakout. So you could probably go long lower than this. So something like this would be fun on Cipher, right? So you see, you get the idea. That's how you do it. You know, you play a setup with a stop. If it doesn't work out and the market is constantly moving, you adjust the setup and find different risk-reward situation. That's super important. You can just like YOLO in and, oh, okay, I buy this. Sometimes it works out. I'm not saying it doesn't, but that's not the strategy and system that you should have. All right, this is it. I think I went over everything. Again, we have the scanner score, and I showed you the trading view, the trading log, and here is our portfolio you can see. So if you have any questions, ask me. It's leah@tmad.app. I'm always there. I want to take some time off, but sometimes I reply pretty quickly. So see you guys. Have a good rest of your weekend. Maybe you already sleep, and I will see you soon. Let's do a couple of webinars this week. Again, I like to do it because we have a lot of new members and we are onboarding. So I will send you invitation to a couple of those. All right. Bye.